Today I'm actually going to talk something very exciting with you. Recently, one of my students emailed me. He was working on this project in his office, and he said that he has this very difficult kind of a requirement which he's not able to do, which is to count these numbers basis the comma and the hyphen signs, right? So I'll first of all explain you what he actually wants, and then we will go and make it this happen. And trust me, this is a very interesting function video going to be, and you will have realize the eventually the power of this function. So guys, now you can see that I have here numbers 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So what he wants to do is he wants to develop a function which, if he goes and want to count that how many times the numbers are coming here, then he can see that. For example, right now we have 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So since there are commas, so he wants to the calculation happens in a manner that every number before the comma should be counted as 1. So overall the answer of this uh, if I go and count the number of cells, number of the values in this cell E4, it should come as 4, right? Because I have got 4 numbers. But this is pretty easy. But the thing is, he's also looking for one more advancement in this formula, which is the actually the real part of this exercise, the interesting part of this exercise. If you have a hyphen between two numbers, like you can see here, I have 2 hyphen 5, which means from 2 to 5, actually 2 dash 5. So he says that in that case, this 2 to 5 should be counted as 2 3 4 5, 4 numbers, right? So this is going to be 4 plus this 5 and plus this 6. So your answer should come here as 6, right? Because 1 and 4 are individual numbers, there is no hyphen there. And similarly, if you go here, you see that 1 and 2, they are individual numbers, so that's going to make it 2. After the 2, you have 3 to 10. So 3 to 10 is, if you count, 3 to 10 is going to be 8 numbers: 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Right? I'm just counting on my fingers to make sure I'm on the right path. So I have got these 8 numbers. So 8 and then 1 and 10. So 1 to 10, obviously 10, 18 and 20. So your answer should be 20. This is what he wants to do, right? So guys, now through this VBA, we can make this happen. I hope you have watched the videos, my lectures, the series on the arrays, because we are gonna combine the functions and the arrays together. Okay, now the first thing which I want to do is I'll create here a function which simply said, let's say that count numbers, or maybe we will go and write here that my count, something like that. And I just go and select this and I press enter, and when I press enter, what should happen, this parameter which I'm selecting E4, this should go in my VBA program, and then what happens, we will go and split these numbers. So my idea is first go and split this and create an array. Okay, so that means you will have here number called 1 2 3 4 in the VBA, right? So we will have this array, let's say we will give it a name called array 1, right? So this array will hold all these numbers. And similarly, when you go here in the next cell, so what happens, you will have the numbers split in this way: 1 and then 2-5 and then 4. And 2-5, let me go and use the single quote, otherwise when you enter 2-5, it enters as a date. So now guys, the idea is, if you go in this particular pattern, we will go and run the loop, and we will say that if this number is an individual number and it does not contain any hyphen sign, then just go and count this as a one-time number. Okay, so that means you will have here 1 and then 1 and then 1 and 1. So we will have the output 4 and done. But in this case, when we go and use the arrays here, split this particular cell E5 using the function, in this case it is going to be counted as 1. But now when the calculation happens on this number, as I said, that we will put the condition that if the hyphen sign comes or not. So if the hyphen sign is there, if it exists, then what we will do, we will extract the left number from the hyphen and the right number from the hyphen. So you will have the 2 split and 5 split. We will use the left and the mid function in the VBA, I'll tell you. Okay, so once you have this 2 and 5, what I will do, then I just simply go and subtract this, and I will add 1 to it, because I want to count 2 as well. So you will have here answer as actually this 4, right? So this is we are going to do in the VBA. I'm just telling you the idea so that you should feel connected with me when I'm gonna write the program. And then in this 4, since there's no hyphen, so it's gonna be counted as 1. So eventually what you have here actually 4, 1 and 1. So you will go and sum these numbers, and that's what we needed. So this is the plan, guys. Okay, so let's quickly go and start working with this. So I will give this a name called my count, right? So let's go to the Visual Basic, insert the module here, and now I'll go and write function, and I write here my count, and you have to write here a string. So I just go and write here val as string. This is my variable as long, because I need the count, so my function value is going to be long. Okay, so the first thing which I want to do is I want to create an array here. So let's create the array, my array as variant, right? And then you have to split this array. Okay, so we will go and say my array equals to split. This is how we write the split function. What do you want to split? The value which we as a user going to select in the Excel. So that value which I select, that's going to come in the val. So we will go and use the delimiter as comma. So when you run this, your array will have a split. So let me show you. I put the watch code here. So we just go and so now I put the break code here. That's how we run the arrays, we run the functions. So let's say I go and say that my count E4, I press enter, and now you can see here your val actually has got that value which the user has selected. So this is going to be split. So once I have this value split, you just go and remove these open and close parentheses. You remember, guys, in the split you don't have to use that, because split automatically creates the upper bound and the lower bound. Okay, so my apologies for that. I go and press enter again, and there we go. So now you can see here that the code is working and I have got all the values split. So now I will go and run the loop, which will start from the lower bound to the upper bound of the array, because that way I will be able to loop through all these numbers one by one. Okay, so I create here a variable called let's say dim I as long, and then you say that I want to run this loop from the lower bound of this array to the upper bound of this array. That is how we are going to run this program. Okay, and here we will put the condition that if my array, the position of my array I, if it contains, so I go and write star in the double quotes. That's how we write it. So I'm trying to find out that whether that number has contains hyphen or not. Okay, so I'm going to suffix and prefix the star, because that's how you can make your code showing contains. So we are saying that before hyphen, after hyphen, anything can come. That's why we use the star. So if that is the case, then we have to do something, right? In that case, what I will do, if let's say you got this 2 to 5, for example, 2 to 5. So 2 to 5, how we can split this, guys? If I show you in Excel, when you have here number, let me just go and remove this all, and then else and if. We'll come to this little later. First of all, see this. If I show you, we have a number here 2 to 4. Okay, so now in the 2 to 4, this is your number, for example. In the 2 to 4, we need to extract the left part of it. So how we use the function left in Excel, I mean, if you have to use, and I say from the left I need 1 character. You got the 2, right? And similarly you say from the right also I want the 1 character, right? But now the point is, if this number is going to be, let's say 21 to 42, then you won't get the correct answer. Then you have to make sure that from the left you should extract 2 numbers, right? We all know these functions. After all, we are learning the VBA, that to the functions. You should be expert in all these Excel functions. So you want to change this to 2, right? Now I cannot go on and change these numbers basis what you have got here. You need some mechanism here. some automation which picks this 21 and 42, or maybe if I go in future and say that my number is 429, then instead of getting this 29, it should be 429, right? So what we will do, we will go and find out the position of the hyphen. So I go and say that find hyphen in this cell and start from 1. You got the position 3, you will subtract -1 from it, you know. So that returns you the number of the characters which are before hyphen, and that is what you need. So now you say left and you go here, that from the left I need how many characters? The characters which I got it after finding the position of hyphen and subtracting -1 from it, because I don't need the hyphen, that's why I'm subtracting -1. If you remove this, you'll get 21 hyphen, which is wrong, right? That is the logic. Same way guys, we will go and use the mid function. So once I got the position of this hyphen, for example, I go and write here again find hyphen, and I go in this cell, comma, and I say 1. You got 3. Now when you go and use the mid function, why we use the mid? Because I want to start from the mid of the text, because I do not know that where this 4 starts. I mean, because in next time you may have 210 hyphen 42, so position keep on changing, right? So we have already found the position of hyphen, so I simply say that go in this text and start from the position of hyphen, adding 1 to it, because I want to start from the next number which exactly, you know, which comes exactly after the hyphen. So I go and say the +1. How many characters do you need? Well, this time I need 3, but maybe in future if you have a number like 4293, then you may need 4 characters from the right side, right? So it depends. So I keep the maximum buffer because I think no number is going to be greater than 10, because if you're writing 21 hyphen something, I think after hyphen maximum numbers would be 10. I mean, this is my assumption, but you can have a look on your database. If I look at these numbers right now, after hyphen I just need 2 characters, you know, but still I keep this 10 just for the buffer. Okay, now you can see here that I have got my 429. Now this value is dynamic and this value is dynamic. Let me bold them. You want to check? See this. I say that 221, press enter. Can you see that? It becomes dynamic, right? If I go and say that, let's say I want 340, you can see that again it becomes dynamic. If I go and say this is the number, you see that I got here 21, I got here 3, right? This is the idea we're gonna implement in the VBA. Just trying to find out the position of hyphen, and before hyphen what I need is I'm gonna extract it. After hyphen what I have, I'm gonna extract it. That's all. This is how the plan is. Okay, so guys, now how we use these functions? So we will go and do the things here. Well, we use these functions in the same way. So to store the value, what I will do, I will simply go here and create a variable which is going to hold this value. So I say that my, let's say, first value, okay, the first value, okay, equals to, then you go and write the function called left start. So in the left, what is the string? My array I, right? Because that is the value you want to go and find it out if the hyphen is there. And then how many characters you need? Well, we will go and find out the position of find. So when you go and write the find, you don't see any parameters here. I talked about this in previous video, so go and write the class as well. So I think find function is in the worksheet function class. You can see here. Now I got the formula and I have now my parameters coming here, right? So now what do you want to find? You want to find hyphen, obviously, and then in the argument 2. So in the argument 2 means where you want to find the, I want to find that in the my array I, and I want to start from 1, and then I will go and subtract -1 from it, because if you remember guys, this is my number of characters which I want in return after finding the position of hyphen. So I will go and use that in the left function. So this is going to return me the first value before the hyphen, right? So I go and declare this as long, for example. Similarly, I go and say second value as long again. So I go and say now second value. Now how we are going to get the second value? Go and write the mid function, right? So you want to start again in the my array That is why I explained you in Excel before, so that you shouldn't have any confusion. So go and say that this second value, my array, and then comma, from where you want to start. Well, again, you got to write this function, find function, right? Because I need to find out the position of my hyphen, and whatever the position comes using this formula, this find function, I will go and add 1 to it, because I do not want to start from hyphen but the very next value to that hyphen. Okay, and in return, how many characters do you need? So I say 10, maximum 10, right? So I'm keeping the extra buffer. So in this way you will have your second value calculated and first value calculated, right? So first of all, let's go and run this, and then let's see. So I put the break code here. So this time what I do is I'll use the function here, because here we have a hyphen. So let's go and check that. Sub or function not defined. So I think I did some spelling mistake here. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, now you can see that I have my split, this value which I selected 1, 2 to 5, 4. So the values are split using the comma delimiter. So I have 3 indexes here, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's why I'm saying that I got to run this loop from 0 to 2 times, right? So this will loop through all these values one by one. Now the first value does not contain obviously any hyphen. You can see here this is 1. So what happens, it goes in the else mode. When it goes in the else mode, it should do something, because then this value should be counted as 1. So maybe we can go and write here store equals to store plus 1. So I'm going to use the store value here. Okay, but for the time being I keep this as it is. Let's not use right away, because I'm already on the running code, otherwise it will ask me to reset the code. So let's go to the next thing. Now this is what I want to tell you. Now the second time when you have, guys, this 2 to 5, so what happens now, we will go and say that use the left function, go in this 2 to 5, okay, and find out the position. So this worksheet find, this entire function, if you go and put the watch window on this function, you should be able to see the position of hyphen. You can see here you're getting here answer as 2, which makes sense to you because the position of hyphen is 2. So 2 plus 1, 2 minus 1, sorry, will make it 1, right? So finally what will happen, you will be able to extract this, from this 2 to 5, a number called 2. Let's go and check that. You can see here I got my 2. Similarly, you're going to use the second value. Now I'm saying that mid, go in this 2 to 5, find out the position of this hyphen, which is 2, and add 1 to it. So in this function we are saying that mid, please go in this 2 hyphen 5 and start from 5. Start from 5 because you are saying plus 1. So after the hyphen, we want to start, and then extract the 10 numbers. If the 10 numbers are there, good. If they are not there, then also within the 10 value of range, it is going to extract the things. So you go and write this. So you have a now second value coming as 5, right? So when you have these values, now you have this 5, and then guys you have this 2. What do you need to do? You remember, we have to say 5 minus 2. So I will go and write here that final number equals to second value minus first value, and then go and plus 1 to it. In this way, what will happen, this variable will capture the difference. So we have to declare this as well. So I go and declare this over here as long. Okay, so let me reset the code. So you're getting the point. Once you have get that number, you also need to make sure that this value which we are calculating here, this store equals to store plus 1, this should also get added here. Okay, because you can't run this line individually and this line individually. Ultimately your job is to sum all the values, whether they contains hyphen or they don't contain hyphen. The difference is, if they contain hyphen, they are supposed to be counted as a difference between the last number and the first number. But in case if it is a single number, then it has to be counted as a single number. Okay, so my idea is that what we need to finally do is this final number which you have got here, we will simply go and say, once the job is done, we will simply go and say here the function my count should be equals to your store plus final number, so that in case if there is no hyphen, those numbers should also be counted and stored in this variable called store and finally gets added, right? So that's how it is. So now let's go and run this program, and I should go and declare this store as well, store as long. Okay, so let me reset the code. So the first thing which I will do is I will run this code. Just a second, it's running on its own. Yeah, this is the one. So I go and press enter. Now you can see here that my array holds these numbers 1 2 3 4, right? And in these numbers there is no hyphen. So what happens, this array will never go in the then mode. This area will never be executed, right? Because we don't contain this hyphen. So every time it goes in the else mode. Now when it goes in the else mode, that means the hyphen is not there. So that means that value should be treated as one-time value. We need to count it once. So that's why I'm saying that now whenever we come in the else part, it should be counted as 1. So we will say that store equals to store plus 1, and we have the store as 1. Okay, got it? Now let's go to the next I. You know, now we have to run this loop from 0 to 3 times. So now I'm running this for the first time. Actually first means first index, which means second time. So now you have a new array which is 2. Does this contain a hyphen? No. So again you go and now go and say that store equals to store plus 1. Now you already know your previous store value was 1. So one more is added. That's why guys I'm using store equals to store plus 1, right? This we have done, I mean, in the loop section when we learned about the if functions and the loop functions, right? So that is how it is. So finally your store is now 2, makes sense. Now the next value is 3, which again does not contain hyphen, so you have another store, and then again the last. So you have your answer as 4, and your value is, your function is 4 plus 0, which is 4, right? That's how the function works, and you got here value 4. Now let's go and run this and let's see that. So I'm running this. Now you have got your the array split. You can see here I got my array 1 2 to 5 and 4. The first value which I have here is 1, which does not contain hyphen, so we go in the else mode and we are going to count this store as store equals to store plus 1, right? So this 1 is going to be counted as 1, right? So we got it our store as 1. Let's go to the next I now. So when I go for the next I, now what we are going to do here, the next my array is 2 hyphen 5. Does it contain hyphen? It contains hyphen. Now here comes the interesting part now. So you see we are in the then area. So I'm using the output in the first value. So obviously we will have this 2 to 5 number calculated here, and my left function is going to extract the numbers which are coming before 2 hyphen 5, right? So for that I'm using 2 hyphen 5 here, and I'm finding out the position of hyphen in this array, right? Once I find the position which is going to come as 2, we will say 2 minus 1, which is going to come out as 1. So finally when I have the answer as 1, you can see here this also shows you 2 minus 1 means 1. So actually you are saying that go in this 2 to 5, 2 hyphen 5, and extract the 1 character from the left. So you should have here first value as 2. Same way guys, as I explained this mid function, this is going to pull out the number after the hyphen. So we have here 5, right? So then we have this 5 minus 2, and that's gonna make it what? That's gonna make it 3. 3 plus 1 is going to make it what? 4, right? This is how you go and use the things, right? So now, so this is my 4. Remember this thing, okay? Now what happens, just understand this. If the next time you have another hyphen here, then this final number is going to be overwritten with that new value, which you do not want, because you want to add this 4 with that new value, right? So here we have another variable which is going to do what? Final number, okay, equals to final number plus final number 1. This is how it is, and this has to be 1. I should have taken care of this point, okay, because I'm saying that this number should go and somewhere preserve, right? We must store this number before it gets overwritten with the next value. That is the plan. For example, if I go and show you this particular function, this one, see this, my count, because here you have 3 3 hyphen 10 and 1 hyphen 10. So you have two values. So here you will explain. Now you will be able to understand. So I'm going to run this. So this is going to run from 0 to 3 times. The first value is 1. So we go in the else mode, we quickly count it as 1. You have your store 1. Now the next time guys, when you have, the next value. So what is the next value? The next value actually is 2, 1 comma 2. So 2 again, will take you in the else mode. So we have the store again 1, 1 plus 1 2. So we counted 1 and 2 as 2 times. But now the next time when you go and run, this is going to be 3 to 10. So eventually when you run this program quickly, you see that you have here 10 minus 3. This is what you need. 10 minus 3, 7. 7 plus 1 makes it what? It makes it 8. So finally I'm storing this value in the final number 1. I'm saying that this final number, which is this number, it should be added with the final number 1, which is right now empty. So eventually you will have a new value which is called 8. Right now the next time when this loop runs, here comes the that part which I was talking. You have another 1 to 10. Now when you go and split this 1 and 10, eventually you have a new final number which is 10. You can see here because I got it 10 minus 1. So that's why guys, when we calculated the previous number, the number, whatever number we calculated, if you remember, that number was 8. That is stored in now final number 1. That's why I created this. Otherwise, if you would have not written this particular line, this final number, when it was showing 8, this time if you run it, it is going to be overwritten by 10, ultimately giving you the impression that you have only the 10 numbers. However, exactly it is 10 plus 8, 18. That's why you are storing this number, this final number in this way, in the final number 1, right? So you already know the previous final number, final number 1 was 8, and the current final number which you right now have calculated by subtracting 10 and 1, you're gonna get here the number called 10. So 10 plus previous value 8 makes it 18, isn't it? And finally now your loop is done. So you want to say that store which we calculated from this is going to be added with my final number 1, which means 18 plus 2 I will go and add it, and this will make it 20. So I go and press F5 and finally your code is done. Let's go and check the value. So you can see here guys, we got the correct answer. So if I just go and drag this right now, you have all the values coming here. So you're getting the point. This is what exactly it was, we wanted to show. Okay, now one more thing I want to tell you, maybe when you go and use this, you see what happens if I have a number called, let's say 4 to 5 only, and there is no comma. Now when you go and press enter, what happens, because when you write 4-5, it is going to be considered as 4th of May, because this is how the Excel behaves. Now the dates are always stored as numbers. So if you go to the general tab of this number actually is not hyphen, this is 43195, which is the number given to this date, right? So this is where when you go, if you go and run this function right now here, you see what will happen. You will get here answer called 1, right? Now why you're getting here 1 guys, because this is a whole number, right? 4315 does not have any hyphen. But the point is, when you written this, what you did, you said 4-5, isn't it? Or maybe let's say 4-10. 4-10 means that it should count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your answer should come as 7. But when you press enter, it actually throws the error also. Reason? Because in this is not a 4-10. This is a number. When you press 4-10, Excel treat that value as a date, right? So, and the dates are always considered as number in Excel. So this is basically the problem with this particular type of situation. Okay, it may look like 10-April, but this is a formatting, just to give you the the idea that what date you are using. That's how the date is coming, because it's in the custom format, but it's not the date, even because you wanted to enter here 4 to 10, right? So what you can do is, there are two ways of doing it. If you have in that situation, either you put the apostrophe and then go and write 4 to 10. In that way, what happens, Excel treat this as a text, and you can see that value immediately moves to the left side, because dates are always stored as numbers, so dates always keeps on the right side. Whenever you enter any number, it always remains to the right side, and whenever you write something which is text, it remains to the left side till the time you don't change them to middle or something, right? But by default, number goes to the right side and the text goes to the left side. So if you go and put the positive, you see that it immediately moves to the left side. So now this is going to be considered as a text, and you can see here we even got the answer as 7, right? The second option is that maybe if you have a lot of numbers, what you can do is you select the entire thing and you make sure that you give that, you know, the entire the range a text format. So when you scroll down, you can give this a text format. You can also use right click and format cell. So I make sure that this is my text. Now once this is my text, you don't have to write any apostrophe, I mean single quote. Just write here, let's say 510. See this, is it changing, guys? It's not giving you 10th of May, isn't it? But if you write the same number here, 5 to 10, see what will happen. This is immediately going to reflect as 10 May, because Excel, when you write this hyphen sign, by default takes these values as date. Okay, so this is the second method. You can keep the formatting as text. Now whatever you write here, for example 10 to 11 also, that's how it is gonna work like this, you know, right? So if I go and drag this, obviously I should be able to get my answer. You can see here I got here my 6, I got here my 11. 10 and 11 are the two numbers, right? And obviously it's a function, so you can use this anywhere. Maybe here also you can use it, right? So I go and write something here, 1 comma 2 comma 3 and then 4 comma 10. So let's go and check the answer. So I say my count, select this, press enter. You got the 10 answer. 4 to 10, how many numbers we have got? 7, and then 8, 9, 10. So we got the answer, right? So that's how it is, guys. And do download this Excel file. I'm gonna attach this in our tutorial section, and have fun. Do all these testing yourself, and if you will find any difficulty, I'm here to assist you anytime, guys. Have a fantastic coding. Bye bye. Thank you.